Sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy each of the following papers, Hindi and English versions: Economic Survey 2526, Economic Survey 2526 Statistical Appendix.
The Economic Survey 2025-26 is out, and it paints a picture that is one of cautious hope. The document puts the lens on the global geopolitical scenario to show that while India registered its strongest macroeconomic performance in decades last year, it has collided with a global system that no longer rewards macroeconomic success with currency stability, capital inflows, or strategic insulation. Still, despite the global headwinds, the overall scenario is one of optimism. In this video, Down to Earth is offering a comprehensive summary of the Union Economic Survey 2025-26, focusing on its implications for India's sustainable development and green growth. The survey posits three broad economic scenarios for the year ahead. In all three scenarios, it says India is relatively better off than most other countries due to its strong macroeconomic fundamentals, but that this does not guarantee insulation. India will need to prioritize both domestic growth maximization and shock absorption. Encouragingly, India's growth story will continue into fiscal year 27, with the survey revising India's potential growth rate to 7.0%, up from 6.5% 3 years ago. As far as sectors go, agriculture will be central to achieving Viksit Bharat, driving inclusive growth and improving the livelihoods of millions, says the survey. The sector grew at 4.6% in fiscal year 2025-26. However, continuing the trend, this growth was driven majorly by livestock and fisheries rather than crops. This performance, however, was underpinned largely by the steady growth of livestock at 7.1% and fisheries and aquaculture at 8.8%, rather than sustained improvements in crop output. In fact, the crop sector has remained volatile from year to year and has failed to show a sustained upward trajectory, growing only at 3.5% in the last decade. This pattern, the report noted, pointed to deeper structural issues within the crop sector, constraining its long-term growth potential rather than weather shocks. Similarly, the renewable energy sector is also growing. The survey calls for addressing challenges such as high capital costs, land acquisition delays, and grid availability through appropriate instruments including innovative financing mechanisms and optimized project execution. Large-scale integration of battery energy storage systems or BESS and pumped storage hydropower or PSP can address the inherent variability of renewables, ensure grid stability and peak load management, and enable reliable large-scale adoption of renewables to support the transition to a clean, secure and resilient power system. India aims to achieve 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. As of November 2025, renewable energy accounts for 49.83% of India's installed power capacity, with total RE capacity tripling over the past decade to 253.96 gigawatt, including a record 34.56 gigawatt of non-fossil additions in the first 8 months of fiscal year 2025-26, driven mainly by solar. The survey says that the country has also recorded significant employment growth in recent years. It said the employment and skilling ecosystem is being reshaped by demographic shifts, technological change, and evolving industry needs, including the expansion of gig and platform work. Gig workers in the sector have increased to 120 lakh in financial year 2025 from 77 lakh in fiscal year 2021, a growth of 55%. The survey urges the effective implementation of labor codes which could play a key role in supporting formal employment and improving the security for women and gig workers. While women's participation in paid work is rising slowly, the imbalance underscores the need for policies that promote shared domestic responsibilities and better care infrastructure. Policies should also promote flexible work, hybrid models, and gender responsive standards, including maternity benefits, equal pay, and harassment protection. The survey makes special mention of climate change, noting that India must place adaptation center stage in its climate action story to ensure that development gains are not lost. India's adaptation and resilience related domestic spending surged from 3.7% of GDP in fiscal year 16 to 5.6% of GDP in fiscal year 22. Climate action is no longer an environmental add-on, but a core component of India's development strategy, it said. As India prepares to usher in its budget, the economic survey paints a hopeful but cautious picture as the globe passes through a tumultuous phase.